Hey, what's going on? Aaron Chen here. Hope you're well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be doing some research on this product right here. It's called Print Profits, so you can see that on the screen, right? So over the next few minutes, I'm going to review Print Profits, and then at the end, you can decide whether this is a program for you, or you might decide that you want to do something else. Completely up to you, right? So Print Profits is a drop shipping product that's been created by Fred Lam and Michael Shea. Okay, Fred Lam and Michael Shea, they've been in the internet marketing industry for many years. They've made multiple millions of dollars, very successful internet marketers, right? Now this product is really interesting. This is the sales page, so it's just printprofits.com/join. You've probably already seen this page before. I'm just going to read it verbatim what it actually is, all right? So it's the exact 3-step blueprint to build a 100% automated 7-figure e-commerce business using print on demand. So this is a very unique twist on drop shipping and Shopify. Let me explain to you what it is if you don't really understand what drop shipping and Shopify is. All you're doing is you're building your own little website online. And with most dropshipping strategies, the way that it works is you drive people to the Shopify store and you basically sell different little things. Like you might sell this microphone, for example, right? Or you might sell, for lack of a better example, post-it notes, okay? And then what you would do is you would go to, once somebody buys, you go to another e-commerce website, right? And you would basically buy it for cheaper, and then you would deliver it directly to the customer. So the good thing is that you don't have to store any of the products in your own home, right? Which is a great thing. That's why it's called drop shipping. You drop it in your customer's location without necessarily having to store it in your own house. Now, what Fred and Michael are doing with this particular program is that you are creating a Shopify store, but instead of selling these sort of like physical items, you are selling physical items, but you're basically creating these physical items on a print-on-demand store. So you don't have to actually store anything, and it kind of works directly with the store. And I'll show you exactly how this works, right? So, there are websites like Printful, for example, okay? And the way that it works is you can customize all these different types of products like caps and t-shirts, and maybe even like, quotes and stuff like that, even face coverings. I'm doing this recording at the time of the coronavirus, so this is all updated, right? And the way that it works is actually it's very simple. You create a store like a Shopify store, you link your store with Printful, which is really good. There's some automation there, and when somebody buys something from your store, it talks directly to Printful, and then they deliver it directly to your client. You can see this. So it's 3 steps, which is really good because you want that kind of automation. Okay, so that's kind of how print on demand works. And that's what basically Print Profits is going to teach you how to do. Okay, now how much does it cost? There are 2 payment plans. There's $997 one time, and there's $397 3 times. Okay, so that's broken up over 3 months, and then you can decide which areas you want to specialize in, or which areas you want to focus on, so that you might want to pay $997 up front, or maybe you want to break that up into 3 months and pay it over a period of 3 months. Okay, now let me show you the actual modules inside, and then you can decide whether this is something for you. Okay, so Print Profits is basically 8 modules, right? In the first module, they talk all about building out your store. That's really important. So they talk about the build out, picking the niche, and really understanding the whole dropshipping business model, right? Which is great. So very detailed. Then module number 2 is, they talk about the setup. So how do you set everything up? How do you find someone to design your Shopify store? How do you get all your designs together so that you can work with companies like Printful and actually get all your stuff designed, right? So very detailed. Okay, so it's 8 modules. Extremely detailed. They go into a lot of very detailed training so that you can set everything up, right? Then module number 3 is preparation. They talk all about, okay, so once you've set up the store, you've got your designs, you're working with the right design companies and stuff like that. How do you actually get products? How do you get people to see your stuff? Okay, how do you get people to see the pages that you're trying to sell, right? So we talk about traffic. They focus mainly on Facebook traffic, right? And then they also talk about the different places you can source your products. Okay, then module number 4 is all about attraction, right? And they focus very heavily on Facebook ads. So it's a very detailed training on Facebook ads. Literally, they talk about everything. They talk about the strategy, the setup. They talk about retargeting. They talk about lookalike audiences. They talk about all this great stuff, and it's a very detailed training on Facebook ads, okay, which is great. Module number 5, also on Facebook ads, but they focus more on optimizing your ads so that you reduce the cost of your advertising. So very detailed in that area. And then module number 6, they talk about, well, how do you then customer service your clients that actually buy the products from you, right? Because you have to deal with everything. So even though you've got, so let me just go back to this picture right here, right? So even though we are working with companies like Printful that will actually deliver the products to the customers, you have to understand that your customers think that the products are coming from you. So you still need to handle every single transaction, and you need to handle all the customer service, right? And I'll talk about the pros and cons about what I like about this strategy in a second, but just to share with you, that's what you'll learn in module 6, how to do all the customer service, how to run your business, and all that great stuff, right? Module number 7 is funnel scaling. So how do you actually set up your sales funnel? How do you work with page builders like ClickFunnels? How do you build out your sales process to increase your profits a little bit? How do you set up your Shopify button? How do you scale out your business? That sort of thing, right? And then number 8 is about expansion. Well, how do you then maybe capture the emails of your customers and potential customers? How do you follow up with them? How do you do something called retargeting, where you follow your customers around the internet so that if they didn't buy, you can move them forward in the sales process? So all really, really good stuff, okay? And then the final module, which is not really a module, is that they have support. And with the support, let me see if I can zoom in here. Can I zoom in? Okay. With the support, what you basically get is live calls twice a month, okay, with Michael Shea. And there's also a support group where you can go in and get support from these guys, which is really, really good, okay? So for $1,000, right? So again, is this, who is this for? Well, not everybody can afford $1,000, unfortunately, right? Or even, $400 broken up over 3 months. So it just depends who you are. But if you would like to learn how to do drop shipping through a print-on-demand type of model, which I think is pretty cool, okay, this is a really, really good product, okay? Now, here are the pros and the cons. This is what I think. This is my personal take. I've reviewed hundreds and hundreds of different programs. This is my take on Print Profits Review, the pros and the cons, right? The pros are that these guys know what they're talking about. They're very successful. The program itself is very detailed, okay? So, in terms of understanding how to do everything, it's all there, all right? Now, here are the cons, and this is what I think of the business model as a whole, right? So first of all, not everybody, not everybody can afford $1,000 as a product. That's one of the cons, right? So it just depends on who you are, how much income you have, right? If you don't have that much money, this might be a little bit out of your reach. That's the first con. The second con is that this is not for people that want something really, really quick. If you want something really quick, unfortunately, this is a super detailed business model, and the training is very detailed, which is great, right? So it's going to take you a little bit of time to set everything up. The other thing that I must say about Shopify is that Shopify is very technical, okay? The whole Shopify setup of the store that you have to set up, like over here in design and preparation, it's a lot of work, okay? Shopify is one of the more difficult platforms to use. I know because I've used it before, and even for a technical person like me, who's been doing this for a long time now, more than 11 years, it is very, very technical, okay? So just understand that it's not that you can't do it, is that understand that if you're not a very technical person, this will be quite challenging for you, and you're going to have to work very, very diligently in order to get over these humps, okay? That's the problem with Shopify. The other problem that I have is that, okay, so the great thing about this model is that they have kind of, solved the automation component, because generally speaking with Shopify, when you sell physical products, like you want to sell this, for example, Post-it notes, right? There's a lot of transactions that you have to handle. And the problem is that it's very, very manual. That means that when somebody buys something from your Shopify store, you have to manually go and buy this on another e-commerce website and then fill in all the details of your customer, buy the product, and then enter their address in Oklahoma or in Boston or in Singapore or wherever they're buying it from, and then press enter, buy it, and then deliver it to them. So imagine if you're making 30 or 40 transactions a day, you have to get on there and do all that work. It's a lot of work, okay? However, with this model, because you're able to link it with Printful and companies like this, a lot of that work has been taken away. That's a good thing, okay? So that's a pro there. The problem, though, that they aren't able to solve, and this is a general problem with drop shipping, okay, is that drop shipping, no matter what, is a low profit, high transaction type of business, okay? Because think about this, right? If you're going to be selling something like a and I'll just give you an example, right? If you're going to be selling a face covering, right, balaclava, right, or you're going to sell a t-shirt, or you're going to sell a mug, or you're going to sell a pair of sweaters or a cap, right? Think about this. You can't sell a cap for that much more money than people are willing to spend, right? So for example, if this cap was $20, right, how much did it cost you to make this cap plus the shipping and all that stuff? Well, on websites like Printful, it's not that cheap. It will still cost you like somewhere like, $8, $9, $10, depending on the quality that you pick and how much you want to charge for it. Does that make sense? So all you're making is you're making the spread, okay? So you're making how much it costs for you to make the product plus the shipping, okay, plus the printing and all that stuff, plus the materials, and then you make the spread on how much you decide to charge for the product, right? So maybe you charge $25, but it costed you $15 to make this product. So what is your profit? It's $10, right? But what's your real profit? Is not $10 because you had to spend money on advertising on Facebook in order to get people to see your stuff. Does that make sense? So maybe you spend another $5 or $8 on Facebook ads. So what's your real profit? Well, your real profit is maybe $3 or $4. Does that make sense? Or maybe even $5. So therefore, what that means is that your profit margins are very low, and you're going to end up selling a lot of these caps, if that makes sense, if you want to do very, very well. Okay, so that is, I would say, the main problem. Now, so what does that mean? That means that, first of all, you have to have a big budget for advertising, and you have to understand that when you post your ads on Facebook, like they teach you how to do it here, right? But please understand that whenever you learn Facebook, when you learn Facebook marketing, you can see that right here, okay? You don't get profitable ads straight away. You have to test and tweak and spend a lot of money on Facebook ads before you understand where are the good ads and what are the bad ads. So you keep the good ads and then you scale that and you get rid of the bad ads and you delete them, right? Now that requires money. It requires a budget. It requires you to be tenacious and be consistent, okay? And so if you have very, very little money to spend, this is probably the wrong strategy for you to go into, all right? Because you're gonna have to spend quite a lot of money on Facebook before you can optimize the ads for the ads that are profitable, because you have so little wiggle room, right? Because these products are damn cheap, they're not, excuse my French, right? But you can't charge that much for a t-shirt. For example, if you wanted to sell this t-shirt, right, you can't charge someone $50 for a t-shirt. Nobody's going to buy it. So you have to still stick within the reasonable range of how much people are willing to spend for a t-shirt or a pillow or a little, cloth bag or even a phone case design. Does that make sense, right? So there's not that much room to play around with. So this kind of business model, my biggest con is that the profit margins are so low, right? And the only way that you can make a lot of money is if you sell a lot of these products. You have to literally be selling like, 40, 50 of these products a day in order for you to even hit $10,000 a month, right? So think about that. That's 40 or 50 transactions a day in order for you to hit a $10,000 per month profit margin. That's crazy, right? So if you want to hit 20 or 30,000, you have to be selling hundreds of units per day. Hundreds, okay? That's a lot of units, okay? That's a lot of advertising, that's a lot of testing, a lot of tweaking, and that is the only problem, I think, with this business model, right? Aside from it being quite technical. So, if you can look past that, if you have the right budget, if you don't mind low profits and dealing with high transaction volumes and dealing with all the customer service associated with that, that's also a problem, all right? Then this is an okay model, right? But in general, I'm not a huge fan of e-commerce and dropshipping because of all the things that I just spoke about. But if you can implement, what they teach you in here, which is this print on demand model, then it's a little bit better than your traditional dropshipping where you're actually selling, pure physical products and there's no automation at all. You can't link up your store. You have to physically go out there and purchase products on your own. I hope that makes sense, okay? So that is my, a review of Print Profits. It's okay, right? It just depends on who you are, and if you're okay with, a little bit of the cons that we spoke about earlier, then the program itself, these guys, Fred and Michael, they've done a really good job in terms of teaching you how to do drop shipping with print on demand, if that makes sense, right? But again, a couple of pros there, a couple of cons there, so it's completely up to you, all right? Now, if you're here right now and you're like, Aaron, I want to learn how to make money online. It's not that I am, 100%. I've decided that I want to do drop shipping and I want to do print on demand, right? You're just here because you saw this, maybe you saw an ad, you saw it on social media, and you came to check it out and you just wanted to see and understand what this product really entails, but you're not necessarily 100%, you're like, you really want to do print profits, well, maybe, you might be interested in this. So I've been online now for the last 11 years, okay, and this video is going on quite long, but let me just wrap it up for you. And I've tried literally everything online. I've tried drop shipping, I've tried affiliate marketing, I've tried MLM online, I've tried top tier sales, I've tried, survey websites, GPT websites. I've done a lot of different things in the last 11 years that I've been online. And out of all the different models, I still think to this day that affiliate marketing, when you sell digital educational products, it's still the most simple, straightforward, and profitable business model on the internet, okay? And the reason why is because everything's digital, nothing's physical. Even with this, that there's a physical component, right? Because you're doing t-shirts and caps and stuff like that, right? So there's still a physical component there. And with digital, it's 100% digital, so you're not affected by the coronavirus, you're not affected by external forces or anything like that. 100% digital. The profit margins are way higher. We're talking like 50 to 80% profit margins, not 10% profit margins, which is exactly what print profits is. It's 10% to 15% profit margins, very, very low profit margins, right? So for my students and myself, what we do, we can hit $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, only selling 20 or 30 units of whatever we're trying to sell. We don't need to sell hundreds and hundreds of units per day. Does that make sense? So there's a big difference between affiliate marketing, doing it well, and doing something like drop shipping. It's a completely different business model. Okay, so if you're not set on doing drop shipping and you want to check maybe affiliate marketing out, and you're like, Aaron, I just want to do something that works and that's a little bit more straightforward, then you can check out my free training program on affiliate marketing if you would like. Completely up to you. All you need to do is click the link right below this video. You'll see it in the description box. You'll be led to my website. Enter your best email address when you see that website, and then check your spam folders and your email inbox, okay? Because I'm gonna send a free training video directly to your inbox that will teach you about all these different business models and will give you a much clearer idea of what is available out there and what you could be doing today in order for you to start creating a side income, generate a lot of profits, and then hopefully that can replace your full-time income one day, okay? My name is Aaron Chen. All the best to you. I hope you enjoyed this review of Print Profits. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon on another video.